What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope everybody's having a great day. It's definitely starting off as a better day than, of course, yesterday was. At least the Eagles bundling, screwing up, and losing on Monday night to Kirk Cousins, a guy going into that game who was 3-10 on Monday Night Football. To lose the way they lost, no pass rush whatsoever, bad calls, dropped by Saquon, who was having a great game, and seeing all of the issues with the Eagles should make you feel a little bit better. Now, that's not to say we're a great team, but here's what we're going to say is there's problems in our division. There's no juggernaut right now. And one of the problems that we have is running the football. Some of that is the offensive line. We got some young people, and it takes time to get in shape. I'm not ready to go crazy yet because if you think about where we started last year with the Texas Coast offense, we were literally saying the first couple of weeks of the season that, oh my God, we screwed up by getting rid of Kellen Moore because the offense was terrible. It takes time. You've got a lot of not a lot, but you've got new pieces on here. And I'm going to say that maybe that was just a stinker game that we had. With our running game, you could look at it and say it definitely leaves you wanting a lot more. It definitely leaves you wanting a lot more. But we'll see what happens. So in people's minds, everybody, the big question was after we did not do anything on the ground, was would Dalvin Cook be starting this weekend? Would Dalvin Cook come off of the practice squad? Now, take this for what you will. Today is Tuesday, the players' day off. This is the meetings for the coaches, coming up with a game plan for this week and so on. And Jerry Jones, our fearless leader, of course, is talking on 105.3 The Fan and says he doesn't see the Cowboys using Dalvin Cook at running back this week. Now, you could say maybe Jerry's trying to be deceptive. Maybe, and maybe this is something that they sneak in at the last minute and go, bam! And, surprise Baltimore with the running game. Or maybe he's really just not ready just yet, and he's not ready to abandon the running plan that they have at the moment. What I will say is right now is you need Jake Ferguson, first of all. I think a lot of people underestimate the value of that tight end. When you look at teams like Kansas City, how important the tight end is. When you look at what Gronk was for Tom Brady and things, Jake Ferguson was beginning to develop into that kind of guy. Now, Schoonmaker did make a couple of plays and stuff, but he was not Jake Ferguson. Jake Ferguson will be able to really give you another weapon, and more than anything else, that's part of the problem with the Cowboys is CD Lamb is really the only weapon, and in that game was really the only weapon that you feared. And they could double cover him, and nobody's, got any separation. Nobody's, made you worry that we got to stop this guy. And this may be a case where the Cowboys, you need to be looking at this differently than just saying, okay, we're okay with what we got. San Francisco, right at this moment, San Francisco is beat the hell up. Deebo Samuels is going to miss multiple games because he's got a calf issue. Christian McCaffrey is out. Last year, when San Francisco didn't have Deebo in the 3 games, they had a 3-game lose streak. So you know that San Francisco is definitely hobbled. The Eagles, their defense is awful. Their defense is just as bad as it was last year. I know they didn't give up a lot of points, but running the football, you're going to see New Orleans be able to run roughshod over that defensive front. They can't get pressure. They can't get pressure at all. And really good quarterbacks will eat them for lunch. You look at, the Lions losing this week. Maybe the Lions take a little bit of a step back, and maybe they're not the great team that you look at. If you're the Cowboys, you could look at this and say, if we can fix our problems on the defense that we had last week and just say that that was just the exception and not the rule, and you bring in another weapon, you go out there and you make a move for a wide receiver, maybe you look at the Raiders and say, because they know Devontae Adams is not happy. Maybe you make a bold move and you trade for somebody like that. Now that would be, the perfect case scenario where you literally say, we're definitely all in. You put that kind of weapon there, that's going to help your running game. It's going to help your offensive line. It's going to help your quarterback, because now you got two guys that you truly have to worry about. And this is what Jerry Jones, instead of being on 105.3 The Fan, talking about whether or not we're going to bring up an old ass running back. They should be in the office trying to figure out how they're going to get another weapon on this team. That's what I look at. But, I don't own the Dallas Cowboys. And, the fact that he's worth $2.5 billion more than any other franchise, I guess he's doing something right. It may not be winning Super Bowls, but he's literally printing money. This week is going to be interesting, because this week could be a week of redemption, because the Cowboys, of course, losing the game as bad as they did against New Orleans, going against a team in Baltimore. Baltimore does not want to start out 0-3. Chances of making the playoffs starting off 0-3 go way the hell down, way down. And you just don't want to be there. And for us Cowboys, starting off 1-2 is not the way you want to start off either, because you've got some really big games coming up with the Lions, the 49ers, Baltimore. You need this game bad. This is literally a must-win game. But, again, right now, doesn't look like anybody's going to run away with the NFC. Unless you think it's Minnesota or think that it's going to end up being Seattle. Right now, everybody's already lost a game. It's crazy. This was a crazy, crazy week in the NFL. And maybe it was because it was Friday the 13th. I don't know. But we'll see what we're going to see. So that's the early word this morning. Eagle fans, Jerry Jones asked about his potential impact of the loss on Sunday being magnified by head coach Mike McCarthy being in the final year. So Mike McCarthy responding about Mike McCarthy. I don't think where he is with his contract has anything to do with week one win. I don't think where he is with his contract has anything to do with week one win at Cleveland, where he was giving accolades out to him and Mike Zimmer, or how we played Sunday. We're trying to get this team ready and in a place that are really ready to make a run at the playoffs. Any given Sunday, you can have a bad day in the NFL. If you got any albatrosses around our neck, it's that we've been a good to very good team during the season over the last 4 or 5 years with Mike, and we haven't done well in the playoffs. So let's trade some challenges during the season for doing well in the playoffs, if you want to look at it that way. Okay? So he's saying it's all about the playoffs. Well, if you're saying it's all about the playoffs, you need to give him all the tools to work with. All right, good people. Peace.